Got one, bigger one.
Good. He's doing the twirly bird.
Bigger crappie indeed.
I got one too, Anthony.
They're everywhere down
We're catching crappie here, folks. We found a big school of them. Anthony's got 3 already. I just caught one. Anthony's using a blade bait. Little guy. Anthony's got a nicer one there. And I'm throwing a little drop shot, which you know they're going to eat that.
Coming up on Fish Den 365, it's Christmas time crappies. Come on, let's go.
Ooh, look at that. Pile of something on the bottom here. Yeah. Gotta get him back in there quick. He's out of here.
Oh, bigger one.
Ooh, yeah, it might be a bass.
Lifted up and he was there. Oh, he's biting pretty good too. Could be a small.
Could be a hybrid.
Oh, he got off.
Oh, damn.
He would have been a small hybrid. It's because I never really got to set the hook.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Could have been a smallmouth.
Well, the next day Anthony was not available to go fishing. He had some errands to run, but I had off from work and I decided to come back to Spruce Run Reservoir, find that school of crappies, and see what I can do with a drop shot to catch some of the bigger specimens. Let's take it to the lake.
Monster crappie there. These crappies are getting bigger. Now that's worthwhile. That's a big crappie there. Nice one. get him back in. That's a big ass crappie. These are bigger ones. These are bigger ones. I'm in deeper water and they're bigger crappies as a result. Boy, they really want this bait too. Another nice one. Have myself a fish fry out here. Another chunk. They're getting bigger. They're getting mighty fine. These are nice crappie. They're good eating. Hope that one ate it. Keep going through. I might come up for it. I can feed up on it. We're putting a hurting on them, folks. This is another good one here. Ooh, this is another big one. Oh, yeah. Might be the heaviest one yet. Ooh, boy. Drop shot in the crappies. It's fun. Another good one. John Tosca, this is for you. Wearing them out.
Hey folks, in just a few moments we're going to show you the exact baits and presentations that we use to find and catch these crappie. But before we do, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
Crappie
It's
after
much
crappie.
appreciated.
After crappie. So easy. When you find them and you have the right presentation, it's just so easy. But you gotta find them. You have to have the right presentation. Look at that crappie. That's a better one here. Pretty one. Fat. Not real long, but a fat one. Nice one. Alright, that's enough crappies for one day.
I'd like to take some time right now to show you the baits that we were using to catch these crappies. And there were different baits for different purposes. The first thing is, to find them, the drop shot is not the best bait. That was clearly the best bait to catch them. But drop shot fishing is slow, and it doesn't cover a lot of water. So the method that we used to find the crappies was to fish along certain structure. We were focusing on depths of 22 to 28 feet deep, and we're just looking around and fishing two primary baits. One was the Damiki Vault. That's this bait right here. This was the bait my son was fishing on day one, and this was the exact bait he was throwing. And he caught quite a few crappie on it. The nice thing about the Vault is it tends to catch the bigger crappie. And while he was throwing that, I was throwing a bait that I don't talk about much, but I'm probably going to do a video on because it's a very good bait. It's just a simple man's stingray grub with a little jig head on it, maybe 1/8 of an ounce, or actually less. This is probably 1/10 of an ounce, or maybe even less than that. I like to have a slow fall on this stingray grub, but this is a bait that is a very good wintertime bait. It catches a lot of fish, and this was another bait that we used to find the crappies.
That's what it was. Crappie. That's a crappie pile down there, so it makes sense. Pretty little crappie on the man's stingray grub. See you, buddy.
Now, one of the other baits that I used, the first day I was with Anthony, I actually broke off my drop shot, and I was a little lazy and didn't want to tie another one up. So instead, I used the same bait that I was using on the drop shot with a jig head. So this is just a ball head jig made by Kitech. It's tungsten, and that's a Hazardong shad on there. That's made by Megabass. I really like the Hazardong shad because it has those eyes. And I do think that makes a difference when you're fishing it slowly. The way I would fish this bait is I would throw it out there, paralleling the contour line that we were trying to fish, and I would let it sink to the bottom and then just reel it back very, very slowly. And that's how I started to catch some of the crappies using the Hazardong shad. And then finally, once we found the fish, there was no better presentation than this guy right here. It's a drop shot. We had about a 12-inch drop or so between the bait and the lure here and the Hazardong shad. You can see maybe a little more than 13 inches or so. But the presentation was simple. You just throw this out there, and many times it just drop it straight down. I saw the crappies on the fish finder. There was just a giant school of them, hundreds of them, literally. Just let this go to the bottom and just let it sit there. Maybe just jiggle the rod a little bit. And the other way was I would throw it out, and I would just really, really slowly, I'd let it go to the bottom and really just slowly just drag it along the bottom. And this bait would swim because it has that swimming tail. It's that Hazardong shad. So it's got a great profile. Perfect little morsel for them. This is a 3-inch model here, 2.5, 3 inches, something like that. And you can see I caught all those crappie that you watched on one bait. This one bait. It never came off. You can see I just hook it with a drop shot type hook here. This is a Gamakatsu hook right through the head of the bait.
and you can see how simple that was. Very simple presentation. Sometimes the crappie would be suspended higher up in the water column. So what I would do is I would just reel the bait up and just let it sit there with the drop shot weight not on the bottom anymore, but just hanging off the bottom. But the crappie didn't care. They were interested in this little morsel. So I would just sit that in front of their face by reeling it up to the depth they were at, using the fish finder to tell me where that was, and I'd just wait, and they would be on, and they'd set the hook, and you'd have another crappie. Simple fishing once you find them.